Okay, so I'm doing this Library of Life live series, and this is the last one for this segment. I may bring it back once a month, but I wanted to end with this live. I wanted to end with this live because it wraps up and sums up everything I've been discussing. Resources. I feel like when it comes to therapy, y'all know this is therapy for the world. A lot of times, what I've noticed is a lot of people lack resources that they cannot focus on their therapy or the therapy process or their mental health. Because I always say this, I'm like, a person can't focus on their mama wounds if they don't got a job or they can't pay for their, house or whatever. And I even tell my interns and colleagues that I work with, we can't do therapy without case management. And case management is just helping people get to where they need to be right now. So whether it's housing, jobs, income, transportation, it could be whatever you're lacking in life to, I'll say, get to an even playing field. And I'll say we have a special guest with us today. I'll say someone who is just as resourceful as me because I'm one resourceful person, but Natasha, very, very resourceful. So if you can please tell us a little bit about yourself, yeah, I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do and allowing me the opportunity to be in support and also help the community understand a little bit about more so the benefits of resources and how to leverage it in a way that can ultimately bridge the gap for those that are seeking support. A little bit about me in regards to resources and why I'm so passionate about leveraging them and the benefits of resources is a little bit about my story. So I grew up in a system, unfortunately. There was a lot of dysfunction within my family, ultimately leading to my mom having a mental health condition that ultimately interfered with her ability to provide the care that was needed to raise children. So earlier on, that was the jump start actually to my knowledge of how beneficial resources could be. So essentially turning my sad story of being separated from my family and my mom and siblings and things in that nature into a victory by looking at the benefits of what DCFS I can gain from being a DCFS, and ultimately it led to me utilizing their independent living program, their transitional living program, and even they subsidy leading up to furthering your education. If you further your education after the legal age of emancipation, which is like 21, they would extend some level of support to you as long as you are participating in a college or in that nature. So they're essentially they'll either pay for room and board or at a college, or even if you are actually on your own, they'll also help provide for like rent and things in that nature. So once I kind of became aware of that, I was like, oh, wow, like this is amazing. So what I ended up doing was I utilized the system to essentially help me navigate me as a single mom. And I ended up going to cosmetology school. And because I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I became a single mom at the age of 19. And I was afraid as I was getting ready to transition on my own. I was like, oh, wow. So I'm going to be faced with that. So, in order for me to also continue to leverage, I was like, you know what? I need to be able to find a more stable opportunity, which brought me to cosmetology. So I ended up attending Harper College in Palatine, and they also paid for my college as well. I learned about there was a program called the Women's Program, and they help single moms that are struggling. So I was able to tap into that opportunity, which ultimately led for me to have the ability to be able to navigate being able to afford my rent and also get into a field that had flexibility, because as a single mom with limited support, I didn't really have that child care available to me, or that go-to person or people actually to be able to help me navigate it. So I ended up attending I finished my school, got my certification in CNA, and then I started working during a night shift, which ultimately led me to being able to gain momentum and the stability. And then unfortunately, I kind of came across a situation with my son's father, and it was somewhat of a very, very scary situation involving domestic violence.
Mm,
And when I experienced that, I ended up reaching out to one of my closest friends that's also affiliated with DCFS. She actually is a mandated reporter, and she became like a mentor towards me. So when that situation occurred with the domestic violence, I reached out to her. And since she reported it, of course, DCFS had to get involved. And when they got involved, they came to my home and they were discussing with me, all types of supports and resources that they can provide for me. And I was blown away because I really wasn't really familiar with Section 8 housing and all that. So I was like, okay. So when she presented the opportunity, that she ended up telling me, hey, Natasha, if you want, because you are a domestic violence victim, you guys have precedence over the long wait period that typically other individuals might have to encounter when they apply. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. So she ended up telling me I had two options available to me. And those options were if I wanted to live in a community in Cook County, or if I wanted to merge and go to DuPage County. And because I was already somewhat familiar with living in Cook County, I thought the opportunity to live in a different community, county wise, would have been more beneficial for me. So I opted to move forward with DuPage County. So shortly after I accepted the offer for her to move forward with, submitting my application on the basis that it was, I ended up getting a call literally within 6 months. I received a call from case management from DuPage County intake, and the intake coordinator, her name was Glenda. She ended up telling me that, hey, Natasha, we have accepted your packet. We're ready to move forward, and you got 30 days. So I was like, are you serious? I was just so overjoyed because at that point in my life, to be honest with you guys, I was really kind of like struggling. Although I had my CNA certificate, and I was gaining momentum, still just, having to deal
yeah,
with the day to day.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I know a little bit more about your story, and I just wanted to say, like, a lot of people, and I tell a lot of people this. A lot of people, I don't really know the thought process because it's different process to it or thoughts to it. But I feel like your story is a perfect example. I'm gonna say my story too. But we talk about you. But
Mhm.
your story is a perfect example. I'm like, y'all better take those breadcrumbs and build an empire because I know you're gonna talk about more in your story. Like you went from foster care to, even just being in the house. It don't matter if it is Section 8 to homeowner, and even with your work. And like you said, I wanted to do something different for my son, cosmetology to CNA, because I wanted to do something more stable and something I can really do for my son in a way that I can still be part and present in his life and
Mhm.
income that I need to make it stable. And it was a lot of resources you already dropped within just telling your story. But I want to tell the audience, if you guys have questions on resources and things like that, and use your story to help you get to where you need to be, because whatever you want in this life, you can get it. But if you have any questions on resources in general or any of the programs and things that she's mentioned, once again, drop them in the comments. And also, I know we're talking a lot about Illinois, but most of these programs is in Illinois, is other places as well. And we're going to talk about resources and not location. But if you can finish telling your story about, because that was something I didn't even know. Um,
Mhm.
if you've been experiencing domestic violence, you can move ahead on the Section 8 housing because they know how important housing is for people experiencing domestic violence. And I don't want to just say women because we know, well, I know men experience domestic violence too. So if you are in a domestic violence situation and you're staying because of housing, that's a way to move you um, up faster on that list.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, you're correct. It's universal. All these resources and opportunities are nationwide. It's just a matter of locating it and getting in contact with the right individuals to be able to put you in position and giving you that exposure. So yeah, going back to, so after I got my voucher, I ended up moving to DuPage County, and probably about a few years into, navigating, being in a program, my case manager ultimately ended up telling me about the family self-sufficiency program, which again, that's one of the ones that is also universal, and it's not just geared towards housing. You can also navigate it outside of just being a Section 8 recipient. However, he had informed me about the program, and a little bit about that program is that the goal as it pertained to me being a Section 8 recipient was for me to create a plan within a 5-year time frame of whatever goals that I will hope to achieve. And for me in particular, one of my goals was seeking home ownership. So when he got me enrolled in it, the way that it works is that essentially they actually build up a savings account for you. They fund the money. So they, for me in my case, they saved about, on an average every month, it was about $500 every month for that time period. So that I can have a big check towards the end after the completion of my goals. So when I told him about my interest in seeking home ownership, he ended up referring me to kind of was exploring options available to me. And at that time, he was saying that I can explore either the NACA program, which is a housing program, or the Habitat for Humanity or Bridge Communities. So those were three resources that was available to me in being able to seek and achieve the goal of home ownership. So after exploring, the benefits of all three, I landed with the Habitat for Humanity. And a little bit about that process, it's essentially, you go, and it's really income based. What they're looking for is for individuals that might not readily be able to afford home ownership. And I met that criteria at that time. So I reached out to Jennifer, which is the the president of the company, and she was able to schedule an orientation. And what that orientation essentially is like is really just kind of digging a little bit deeper into the qualifications if I met those criteria. So I went through that process, and what that was like for me was just going over my credit, making sure that I had stability on my job, so that I've been on the job for a great period of time, and that I didn't have any debt or things in that nature that would have interfered with my ability to maintain the affordability rate. So I went through that process. And for me in particular, it's case by case, depending on where you are. So I really would encourage you not to get discouraged if you are in a situation in which you pursue the Habitat for Humanity and they say, well, hey, you might not, fully be ready at this time. What they would do is they'll essentially be able to kind of come up with a plan to make sure that you become compliant or meet those qualifications. Now, of course, it is definitely income based, but if you are in a situation, for an example, where your credit might not meet their criteria, because they do have a credit criteria as well, what I encourage you to do, what they encourage us to do and you to do as well, and I encourage you to do this as well, is come up with a plan. Whatever that looks like, whether that, be outsourced into credit agencies that help fix people's credit, which, there's tons of those as well, or even sometimes sitting down and looking at your budget. I mean, some of these things we really, if we put the work into it, sometimes we can fix some of these things without credit wise, without necessarily having to outsource. So you can navigate that. Or
And
if it,
I say this as well too. I'm happy that you mentioned all three of those programs, the NACA, the Habitat for Humanity, and the Bridge Communities, because a lot of people don't know, like, there's more ways to buy a home than the traditional way through FHA and a conventional or even a VA loan. It's so many different ways you can buy a house, actually, even buying a house through your business. But if your credit is a problem, I'll say go through NACA if you want to be a part of that process of building your house, and you fit those criteria. Really look into all three programs and see which one is best for you. I didn't know about Bridge Communities, but when I bought my house, I looked into NACA, Habitat for Humanity, and I did end up going the conventional way. But decide what's best for you. and what meets your needs. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm happy to, and I put those in the comments. And also, of course, in the description, I'll have Natasha's contact information. So if housing is something you're looking into, she has already did the research, and I'll say no more information about those programs, so you can follow up with her and ask her about the different programs and see what may fit you best.
Right. And just keep in mind too that although I live in the DuPage County area, I would still be able and to navigate what habitat program suits your location and get you direct contact and information to be able to kind of jumpstart that. So don't be discouraged if you think, well, I'm not in DuPage or I'm not in you, I'm not or a cook or whatever the case may be. Wherever you are, we gonna make it work, and I can help you navigate that process of seeking home ownership. But to add to one of the benefits also with working with NACA that I found very attractive too, honestly, is that two different components, right? So if you are a Section 8 recipient, what they also do is allow you to actually leverage potentially getting a duplex, becoming an entrepreneur, switching the game up, get you a duplex, they'll pay for your mortgage because again, they'll pay for your mortgage and for a certain amount of time. So it's almost similar to the efficient self sufficiency program with the good, to be a timeline on it, but you can leverage that as well.
Somebody who actually not leveraged it through NACA, but she leveraged the self sufficiency program, the Section 8 program, and first time home buyers program. So if the more resources you have, like people walk away with a big check, and I'm not trying to say it like that, but use your resources. Like you were put in this position for a reason, and utilize the resources that we do have available. It's a lot out there to help us. Like a lot of people don't, they're scared to share their story, thinking they're going to get judged. When actually it could be the difference between you and your family suffering and everything you ever wanted in this life, instead of suffering at a job you may not like, or things like that, because that's a thing too that we can talk about. A lot of people are, and I know a lot of people have this issue too between I need to feed my family and self respect and dignity. And sometimes those jobs can make us feel less than. And it's like, how do I have my self respect? Knowing your rights in the workplace. That's something else that Natasha helps with, because we be signing these things. We'll be a part of these unions, or we don't know what contracts we're signing. And that becomes a part of therapy too. Like the pros and cons for actually taking a job. Like, does it align with me? We have clients who go over that, and that's a big worry of theirs, because they know how stressful jobs can be, because that's the second place we spend most of our time, in that workplace. It's just so many resources out there, but whatever else do you want to add before we just start naming some different resources? Because I do want to mention this one website.
Yeah. So yeah, so essentially, yeah. So once I got through the home ownership program, one of the things that kind of was became apparent, I got stable, I gained momentum in the workplace in my field, just as a CNA, and then it just dawned on me, like I'm like I really feel like my niche really is being able to really reach other people. And I thought, I came across the opportunity to work in case management, and I was like, you know what, let me utilize my skills to be able to help other individuals with what naturally I'm gifted in doing. So that allowed me to go into the space of case management.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up, starting I'm in the process still completing, but I'm up and running. I'm ready to go. But there's some other added features that I want to add to it. However, Evolve Consult Case Management. And essentially, what that entails is just being able to bridge the gap for those individuals that find themselves in place, or feeling discouraged, or not really knowing how to be able to get out of the situation that they're in that's causing them a great deal of strain or stress. I would be that go-to individual that will come to the table. Of course, will complete intake form. I want to get a little bit of history about you, your background, and then from there we'll create a plan. And what that plan like is center focused towards you, the individual, but ultimately my goal would be able to be your go-to of resources to help you get there. That's the ultimate goal at the end of the day when it comes down to case management for me, and why I'm passionate about it, because I know firsthand how to benefit and leverage, because I'm a recipient of it. I'm thriving now. I utilize those resources, and instead of turning my pain as far as, growing up without the family and that structure that comes with having family and the support, I navigated in such a way that I put myself in position to thrive, to succeed, and not be defeated or discouraged. So my goal would be to encourage, to make impact, and let you know that you are capable, you are able, and I want to get you to the finish line so that you can also have a testimony that you can share with the community or your loved ones or family and friends, that say, hey, this is how we navigate through that. It's not, you feeling defeated or anything in that nature. And we look at the masses of the people that are really thriving in this world, all it really centered is resources. They leverage those connections, networking with different people in the community. And it just doesn't necessarily have to be center focused towards housing. It could be, man, I'm lacking in my social space. So what do I need to do? What resources do they have? So for an example, one of those being, they have Bumble is the app, and it's universal. It's not just centered towards females. If you're looking for friendships, you can go on there, create a profile.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you mentioned that because I say, especially towards the end of my relationship with my clients, I feel like a lot of them just see me as I'll say somebody they can talk to, because a lot of them don't have that support system outside of therapy. And having someone to, because I try to tell my clients about different events they can attend so they can meet people that they may be in alignment with. So I'm so happy that's something that you offer. And I want to add too, Karen Conversation Center, which is my private practice for therapy. If anybody received therapy services from us, I'm teaming up with Evolve Consult for case management, because this website I want to list in here, I feel like this is like a really good resource, and if not, Evolve Consult. So, but it's a website, and go start back to the home, I'll say, page, because I just wanted to put what they have, and this is everything that Natasha can help you with. You put in your zip code, and this is literally for anywhere in the United States, and they will help you with all the benefits and resources that's in that area as far as healthcare and medication, because I know you're really good. I tell everybody, I know I'm not even a big fan of the hospitals and doctors, but I'm like, you need health insurance. And if you have to sign up for Medicaid, Medicare, do what you have to do. Also, private insurance, it's not that expensive. But they'll help you in regards to that, as far as everything healthcare, medication, because there are programs out there that help you get free medications, even if you don't have insurance. They have food and nutrition. I know we talked about this, but you had mentioned Lowe's and Fishes. It's so many food pantries and food programs out there. Even food stamps, they have this. They have everything you can think of and more. They list and utility assistance. So help with rent, help with utility bills. They have, of course, Section 8 public housing and LIHEAP. Those are some things that a lot of people are familiar with. They have stuff for the older adults. So if you have a parent and you're a caregiver, or if you're a senior and you just want somewhere else to go throughout the day, they have adult daycares or day centers that's near, community-based programs for the seniors and things like that, transportation programs. It's programs out here. If you're receiving food stamps, you can get a car. They have so many different.
Yeah, but the People Resource Center as well, that offers the computer skills if you lacking in if you lacking and need help in that area. And speaking of the car assistance, they offer the car assistance program as well.
Efficiency too, because you can say with that, it's not only house buying, it's also if you want to buy a car, if you want to go back to school, with that. But this benefit checker is literally, I mean, this is called benefitscheckup.com or .org. It has like income help, SSI, unemployment, employment training, disability service, long term. And I wanted to talk about life insurance. All y'all should be having life insurance policies because it's something we didn't talk about. But if you with any credit union, all credit unions give you $25,000 free life insurance. I mentioned this before, maybe, but you guys should have life insurance policies. We can't be thinking negative because I feel like the only negative thing I hear is they not about to kill me. That's not how. If you raising a child that you feel like is going to kill you for an insurance policy, I mean that kind of speaks on what type of parenting you've been. Why won't you, like, I feel like all of our kids should automatically at least be six figures when we die. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why not millionaires? It's not even $20-$30 a month, but they have legal assistance, tax help, all of that, and benefits checkup. But is there anything else, like as far as resources or information, you just want to, you know, lead the audience?
I would say, in particular, I will leave you guys with just, if you needed legal help, the Bar Association, they have one in Cook. They also have one in DuPage County. If you guys, again, are looking for the mental health services, because Caring Connections will be one. But there's also others that you guys can tap into. I know this wellness treat that's in Wheaton, which is not too far. So counseling services, I'll be able to provide all that. So I think for me, I would say just give me what you're looking for, and I'll be able to kind of help you navigate it. But it's so many.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are not tech savvy. You should get tech savvy. I mean savvy, because technology where we are today can really take you far. But if you're hesitant and you're a little bit, I'll say, reserved when it comes to learning technology, because I'm not scared to learn, but I know it can be overwhelming. But some people may not be wanting to, they may be nervous, and this is a good one. But some people may be nervous to use the website, and this is when Natasha can really help. So you don't have to do the searching, but some people just need to start. And that benefits checkup is a start. And if you don't want to look, or if you get stuck, like I say on all the episodes, Natasha's information is going to be in the description on YouTube, so you can always have a way to reach out to her. But yeah, like I said, if anybody have any questions, you guys can still ask. But yeah, is there anything else, like anything that you feel like is important for somebody who's just trying to get started in life and maybe stuck and don't know where to go or where to
I
look?
would I would say, first and foremost, have God at the center of your life.
Yeah.
I strongly encourage you, whatever your faith may be, pour into that, and ask for guidance. But take a leap of faith. Don't be discouraged. It's life. Life is life, and we all go through hard times. And if you are in a situation where you are in a domestic situation, I would encourage you to reach out to one of your closest friends, your loved ones, as an escape, to be able to jumpstart being able to tap into, outlets. I'm an outlet. Again, my email will be below. Feel free to email me. But most importantly, it starts with you.
Agree.
Change and impact will have to be, you have to take action.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is going to change without you being able to take heed to the resources and leverage it in the way that it could be beneficial to you. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. We're witnesses and testimonies. Sierra's a testimony. I'm a testimony. There's numerous of testimonies that you can see that how people have actually changed the trajectory of their circumstances. So I encourage you, if you're looking for case management services, if you're looking for the resources to help you, again, bridge the gap to get to that finish line, then I'm your go-to lady. Evolve Consult, again, this is a sacred space. No judgment. I'm just there to help you achieve whatever your goal is that you're seeking. And I encourage you to
Yeah,
have faith.
it was a few things that you said. So I'm going to start with what I first thought. Faith without works is dead. You can have all the faith in the world, but if you don't take that first step, yeah, that's the difference between, I'm gonna say, most successful people. Somebody recently just asked me what was the scariest thing in starting my business, and I said the cliche answer, because y'all know me, cliche. But the cliche answer is getting started, because that's the I'll say the difference between me and a lot of people. I've never been scared to bet on myself. I literally just told somebody this, and also you when you just told that story too, I'm like, you can't separate. I'm so happy that you brought everything that you just brought up, because I wanted to talk about this, but I wasn't going to have the time. But you can't separate yourself from God. I tell everybody, the if you don't know nothing about the Bible, or if you don't believe, I'm like, what I know, full heart, full in my heart, and believe and know, we were created in God's image, in that image of spirit. And however you feel about yourself, that's how you feel about God. And I've been saying this all week. So if you don't trust yourself, you don't trust God. If you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in God. If you don't love yourself, you don't love God. So it's always what you just said. It starts with you, and getting everything that you deserve in this life. And I've been hearing this, and I be on my sermon talk because y'all need to hear this, because it's on my heart.
Yes.
Every God already set it up for everything, for us to have everything we want in this life. And I recently heard Nuri Muhammad say this. He was like, a lot of people, when we go to these funerals and we go to these different places, we like, I don't know why God would do this, why God take this on. God doesn't. And then, like, I'm just gonna say it like this. God doesn't do anything that we don't allow. Like, we have free choice and free will to do the things that we do and put ourselves. I mean, of course, some of us are start in bad circumstances, or whatever circumstances, like you, like me. Um, and we didn't let our circumstances take us down or make us be something we were not.
Mhm.
We took them and we triumphed them. And I wanted to talk about what the shadow work was. A lot of people ask about shadow work and what does that mean? That's your past. And a lot of people are running from that shadow like a ghost. And I'm like, the more you run from it, the more it's going to keep you hostage. And I'm like, you don't do that. You've always done a shadow work, and even talking, you processing what you've been through and accepting what, what? I am in foster care, but let me make the most of it. You know what? I am a teen mom. Let me make the most of it. You know what? I did experience domestic violence, but let me make the most of it. Or I
Exactly.
did experience workplace, I'll say, violence and workplace abuse. Because a lot of people, I heard this woman, I don't know, she was real, I don't want to say real old. She was real young, old.
Matured, matured.
60, 70, and she was just talking about taking the abuse. A lot of Black people, and I'm gonna say minorities or people, period, because people won't take abuse in the workplace because they know they gotta feed their family. But that's not respecting yourself. If you don't
Mhm.
stand up for yourself, and the money should never be a reason why you take abuse in any situation. And that's why I know you, because I'm telling the story why you came up with this company, Evolve Consult,
Mhm.
because I know you and me, we don't want people to be living a life because of resources, like of resources, because that's not a way to live life. That's not what God wants for us.
Exactly. I definitely agree. And that is, speech team, going back to what you were saying, exactly. That's exactly where I started the case management, my business in case management. Honestly, I got to a place where I was tired of being somewhat discouraged or experiencing injustice, whether it be in the work environment, whether it be amongst sometimes even in my social setting, like, just being misunderstood and things in that nature. So ultimately, I was like, you know what? I naturally, again, I'm the go to in my family, despite me growing up in the system for my cousins and some of my friends, even my closest friends. Every time they calling me with their problems and stuff, naturally I just pull from the things that has helped me, or I'm on a computer navigating, and the girl like, what? Okay, cool. Just recently I had a situation with one of my girlfriends, And unfortunately, she's experiencing, just unemployment and having a hard time being able to navigate employment. And to be honest with you, it was very shocking because she's an RN. So, that's healthcare. However, she's been receiving kickback as it relates to being able to, she'll get the interviews and land the job. So, and I was telling her, girl, do you not understand? You can utilize the healthcare agency. We got Nova staff, we got Clipboard, we got Shift Key that you can get on and you can jumpstart. You can go through the back door. If you can't get that yes in the front by filling out your application and nobody's hearing you, or after they hear you, they don't feel like you suitable candidate, go through the back door, because ultimately speaking, a no is not a denial. So you have to go ahead and utilize your leverage, your education experience, and the fact that that's a lucrative field. In healthcare is very lucrative. So she got up on the board with the filled out her credentials and everything, and guess what? She started getting accepted once she started, booking her own assignment. Again, so that's an example of the fact that, again, do not be defeated or discouraged, and utilize the resources despite the fact that you might sometimes come into obstacles. I kind of was experiencing the situation in particular in my workplace environment. Where I needed to seek out justice, and I found the amazing lawyer that heard my concerns. And out of all the lawyers that I've been reaching out to, she took on the time to hear it, and she was able to find merit in what I was saying. And she said, hey, on a contingent basis, girl, we gonna go to the table. So again, I got a lawyer for you. She's an African. Her name is Joanne. She's an African American lady. She represents everybody within, I will say, in the Illinois area. So you could be whatever county, but she does represent clients in Illinois. But again, she's experienced, 12 years of experience. But going back to my passion centered around case management really is to be able to have a voice and be a voice for the community, and being able to help them understand that you can navigate and overcome whatever it is that your struggles is, or whatever your goal is. It's just a matter of tapping into the resources. Look at even Sierra's this library. She's having constant numerous of segments with professionals that's chiming in and giving you guys the insight and resources. So whether it be housing, we just had one, I was on that not too long ago, going over the breakdown of the process of what Habitat of Humanity consists of. And the other day she had another lady that's a doula. She's now in that, bridging into that space. So credit repair. So it's so many resources that you can tap into. And I'm your go-to. She's the count, she got her the practice as well. So we can refer back to those people that might need that immediate mental health, support, whether it be with the counseling. Start where you are. However, if you are in that space of needing to tap into the mental health space, and then, she'll direct you to my path. So don't feel like, well, if you're struggling mental health, don't feel like that will stop you from being able to bridge the gap, or whatever the case may be, as far as whatever your circumstance. It don't have to be mental health related. It could be homelessness. It could be, unemployment. It could be being a single mom. It could be even for the males that's experiencing, issues with having backgrounds with bad backgrounds and felonies and stuff like that. There's programs that will help you guys be able to navigate that accept and hire felons, that still can open up an opportunity for you. For those that are coming from incarceration and feeling like, man, where am I going to go? There's halfway houses out there that you can tap into as well. So it's all dynamic. So don't be discouraged. It's not centered, just focused towards females. I want the African American men in particular to understand that I'm your go-to girl too as well for those resources.
Yeah, and I also, well, I just wanted to add a few other resources too before we go. And as I talk, if you think of anything else that could be beneficial, because you said a lot of different things, even everything that we talked about today, like insurance, everything, taxes, every single thing that we discussed, this is something she can help you with. Even with what I'm about to tell you now, um, the Chamber of Commerce in any state, is everywhere. It's even in the cities that you're in as well. If you want to start a business or you're a small business, it's a really good resource for you. I'm just saying, look that up. And just something I just found out, which was really beneficial. If you need notary services, it's free with your bank. But there's literally so many different resources, and utilizing those, I'll tell you, it will make your life a little bit, I'm gonna say a lot easier, so you can focus on your healing and then next creating the life you don't want to escape. Give yourself a better life so you can give your kids and your family a better life. Because we all know life and there ain't nothing new under the sun, but we just got to utilize what's right in front of us. But I really appreciate you for coming on, telling your story
Of
and
course.
resources you shared. And I know I already asked this, but we really are summing it up. But is there anything lasting or any other resources that you may want me to put in the comments? And this is live on all platforms right now, but it will always be available on YouTube.
I would just say at the moment, I really want to center focus in on the loaves and fishes, which is for the people, the individuals that are starting from ground one, as far as the food pantry, as far as being able to open up opportunities to kind of navigate within the DuPage County area. But as far as food pantries, wherever you are, Cook County, I would say locating those food pantries and being able to go from there. The NACA, Habitat for Humanity, Bridge Community. I would say the People Resource Center, LIHEAP. I would say DuPage County. They also have a program where they help you with you if you're a homeowner and you're having issues with being able to maintenance issues. They have a program for the repair. So with roofing repair or things of that nature. So you can tap into that if you're a homeowner. Um, yeah.
I just thought about I want to like also kind of, even if you have something else that you want to share. The reason why I called this the Library of Life was resources. It's like the library on resources, but the library is a really good place to start. They can help depending on your library, because I've been going and I'm going on my book tour to different libraries, and every library is not that great, but they're getting there because we gonna help these libraries, because libraries do make a difference in the community. A lot of the libraries have resources on taxes, resources on transportation, everything that we just named. They have resources and they can lead you in the right direction. Some are not, unfortunately. And once again, we always have Natasha as a resource, but you can start with your local library. They have a lot. And some of the libraries are becoming so advanced. Like they got green rooms, you can record, you can do your podcast, you can do so much at the library. They have Wi-Fi if you don't have Wi-Fi boxes. Some places, I think all the places, even the small places, they have Wi-Fi boxes that they give people, computers, cameras. If you want to start a business, I mean, only thing that's stopping you is you at this point. If you want to escape, I mean, once again, it's you at this point. Because literally, I mean, God has already set it up for us to always have everything we want in this life, just by us being able to experience the thing we call life. But if you're not loving your life, especially as an adult, it's different when you're a kid. Now, I'm sorry for anybody who's experiencing anything they shouldn't be experiencing as a child. But as an adult, you have the right to choose what you want. That's it. That's all I can say. But yeah, any lasting words for you?
I look forward to working with you guys. I look forward to the opportunity to being able to again bridge the gap. So thank you guys so much for listening. Take action. If I don't say nothing else, take action.
Faithful's our works is dead, but thank you
Yes.
much. Once again, everything you need to know about Natasha will be on the YouTube description. And this video will always be saved on YouTube. So thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of this Library of Life. And I'll catch y'all at a library real soon. Okay.
Bye bye.